Let me do question one. We've got transactions to be recorded on the 31st of October 2024. Now, the first transaction says that Tinyati, the owner, took stationery worth 200 and trading stock. Selling price of this trading stock was 1,000 Rand and the cost price was 850 for personal use. When the owner takes money for personal use, it will be recorded in the cash payment journal. However, if the owner takes anything other than money, it will be recorded in the general journal by debiting drawings and crediting whatever the owner took from the business. Here we will debit drawings and then credit stationery as well as trading stock. But whatever the owner has taken must be recorded at cost price. Here you have been given two values, the selling price of 1,000 and the cost price of 850. At which amount are we going to recognize or record trading stock? Trading stock will be recorded at cost price of 850. To record this, we will debit drawings, credit stationery by 200, which is an expense, and then credit trading stock by 850. Add 200 with 850, it'll give you 1,050, which is your total for drawings. Then you underline to show that the transaction is complete. The next transaction says, N Young, a debtor owing 550, must be written off as irrecoverable. Remember, when a debtor is written off, we debit bad debts, which is an expense. Then we credit the name of the debtor, which is N Young. We debit bad debts, expense, and credit N Young. N Young is a debtor. A debtor's account decreases on the credit side. This is because N Young has been written off as bad debts. Whatever the debtor was owing us, N Young in this case, we initially recognize it as sales, which was income. But since we are not getting that money back, we are going to decrease that income by recognizing an expense, which is bad debts. We therefore debit bad debts and credit N Young. But because N Young is a debtor, you will also credit or record it on the credit side of debtor's control. Again, underline to show that you are done with the transaction. Point number 3. L. Ziningi, a debtor owing 8,600, is 3 months overdue. Interest on overdue debtors is 8% per annum. If you take 8,600 and you multiply it by 8%, you will get interest for the whole year. But here, L. Ziningi is only 3 months overdue. Now, we need to apportion it to the number of months that it is overdue. By taking 8,600 multiply it by 8%, and then you multiply it by the number of months it is overdue, which is 3. Then you divide it by 12. How much do you get? It'll give you 172. This 172 is interest. It will be recognized as income. Interest on an asset is recognized as income. El Ziningi will be owing us more Ziningi. We therefore debit El Ziningi's account by 172 and then credit interest income by 172. But because El Ziningi is also a debtor, since you debited El Ziningi, you will also have to debit debtor's control. Kaylee, a debtor, was owing us 7,500 and settled his account by a direct deposit. Great, obviously that will be recorded in the CRJ, right? He was offered a settlement discount of 5%, meaning that in the CRJ, we are going to record 95% of 7,500 under bank and 95% of 7,500 under receipts in the debtor's control, and then record the 5% of 7,500 under discount allowed. All of that was recorded in the CRJ. However, the payment was not honored by the bank. That means the payment did not go through. We have to reverse everything that we have recorded. The cash payment, which is that 95% of 7,500, let me give you the value. 7,500 multiplied by 95%, I got it from taking 100% and subtracting 5%, which gave me 7,125. That 7,125 was cancelled in the cash payments journal. We need to cancel the discount. The discount will be 7,500 minus that 7,125, which is 375. So we need to cancel that discount. When we recognize discount allowed, because it's an expense, we debit discount allowed. But here we are reversing it. So we are going to credit the discount allowed. We debit Kaylee, and that is because Kaylee will be owing us more. The payment we thought we received from Kaylee was not honored by the bank, meaning that it did not go through. By debiting Kaylee, we also have to debit debtors control. That is because Kaylee is a debtor. Then we credit discount allowed, reducing the expense which is discount allowed. To show that the transaction is complete, you have to underline. The next point. VC traders did not pay their creditor, that is us, which is Mlanga suppliers on time. VC traders owes Mlanga 7,500 and was charged 3% per annum. That is not per annum, actually, it's per month for 5 months. We owe Mlanga 7,500 and Mlanga charged us interest. $7,500 multiplied by 3%. But this is not per annum, unlike the previous example or the previous question or transaction. It is per month. Because we want interest for 5 months, we will just multiply it by 5. You don't divide by 12 because the interest rate was not per year. Instead, it was per month. 7,500 multiplied by 3% multiplied by 5. Interest will be 1,125. M. Langer is a creditor. Because M. Langer has charged us interest, we will owe M. Langer more. Interest on a liability is an expense. We therefore are going to recognize interest expense. Expenses increase on the debit side. We debit interest expense by 1,125. And then we have to credit M. Langer. And that is because M. Langer is a creditor. We owe M. Langer more. And since we owe M. Langer more, M. Langer will increase on the credit side. We owe M. Langer more because M. Langer charged us interest for 5 months. But because M. Langer is a creditor, we will also credit creditors control. Underline to show that the transaction is complete. Last one. Yang was unhappy with the stationery he took from the business and therefore returned it to the business. So Tinyati was not happy with that 200 Rand. Remember when Tinyati took that stationery, we debited drawings and we credited stationery. When Tilanga returns, not Tinyati returns those goods, we have to reverse the entry by debiting stationery and crediting drawings. None of these accounts affect debtors control and creditors control. It was the owner who is not a debtor and definitely not a creditor to the business. Remember to total all the columns under debtors control and creditors control. And this is it. Let us go to question 2. We have transactions to be recorded on the 31st of October 2024. L. Lira is the owner, took stationery for 300, picking materials 700, and trading stock. However, the trading stock value was given to us as the selling price, which is 2,500. Lira took all of this for personal use. Markup is 25% on cost. To record this entry, we will debit drawings and credit everything that the owner took. We debit drawings, credit stationery by the cost price, credit picking material by the cost price, but we also need to credit trading stock by the cost price. However, when it comes to trading stock, we were not given the cost price. Instead, we were given the selling price. How do we find the cost price? To find the cost price, we have to take the selling price multiplied by 100 and divided by 100 plus markup. So we will take the 2,500 multiplied by 100 and divided by 100 plus markup. This is the formula when you're given the selling price and the markup and you need to find the cost price. How much will that give us? 2,500 multiplied by 100 divided by 100 plus the markup, which was 25. It'll give us 2,000. Going back to the entry, we credit stationery cost price, we credit packing material cost price, we also credit trading stock at cost price, which is calculated, which is 2,000 Rand. And that'll be your drawings value, the sum of all of those. Again, underline to show that the transaction is complete. Next one. We received 1,920 from the insolvent estate of M. Martin. The estate paid 55 cents in the rents. So this 1,925 is the 55 cents. So we received 55 cents, which amounted to 1,925. The amount that we did not receive will be called bad debts. If 55 was received, in total we need to receive 100%. It means 45 was not received. So how do we get this bad debts amount? We were not given what this person was owing. It was not given to us. We were given what this person has paid. To determine how much was not received, you multiply by what you want, you divide by what you have. You are going to take that 1,925 we want the 45%. So you will multiply it by the 45. However, the 1,925 is the 55, so we will divide that by 55. It'll give you the amount that we need to write off. 1,925, multiply that by 45, divide that by 55. It will give you 1,575, which is your bad debts. You will debit bad debts by 1,575 and credit M. Martins by 1,575. But because M. Martins was a debtor, we are going to credit debtors control as well. T menu, a debtor owing 8,600 is 4 months overdue. Interest on overdue debtors is 2% per month. So T menu is owing us 8,600. We will multiply it by 2% and then multiply by the number of months overdue, which is 4. How much does this give us? It'll be 8,600 times 2% times 4. It gives us 688. Remember what I said earlier on. Interest charged on an asset is income. When we record this, we will debit T Menye, who is a debtor, by 688 and debit debtors control by 688. And that is because T Menye is a debtor. What are we going to credit? We are going to credit interest expense. Actually, not interest income. We are going to credit interest income. I've just said it now. Interest on an asset is income. So we are going to credit interest income since we have earned more income by charging this debtor interest. This will also affect our debtors control on the debit side, as I've said. Now, K1Z actually, K1Z is a debtor paid 7,360 by EFT to settle his account. So this is what was paid. He was offered a settlement discount of 8%, meaning that this is not 100% of what Wanzi was owing us. It is 92%. So K1Z paid 7,360. That 7,360 is the 92%. That is because 8% was a discount of which we don't know. In total, it'll give us the total amount that K1Z was owing us, of which we also don't know. So how do we find this 8%, which is the discount? That's what we're looking for. You will take that 7,360. We want 8%, which is the discount. You'll therefore multiply it by 8%. And then you divide by what you have. That 7,360 is the 92%. We therefore divide by 92. This will give you the discount. To cancel the discount, why am I canceling the discount? It's because you were told that the payment was not honored by the bank. So to cancel the discount, you will debit K1Z with that 640. So how did I get this 640? It is the 7,360 multiplied by 8 divided by 92%, which will give us 640. Because K1Z is a debtor, we will record it on the debit side of debtors control. Then we credit discount allowed, underlined to show that the transaction is complete. Next transaction. Very Good Stores did not pay their creditor which is M Maroon Suppliers on time. Very good owes M Maroon Suppliers, and we did not pay on time. Because we did not pay M Maroon Suppliers on time, M Maroon Suppliers charged very good 9% interest per annum for 2 months. I also need you to highlight the fact that this interest is per annum for the year, and we were charged interest for 2 months. M Maroon is owed 10,000 Rand. To calculate interest, we are going to take 10,000 Rand times it by 9%, then times it by 2 divided by 12. Which will give us 150. Because M Maroon Suppliers is a creditor, we are going to debit interest expense with that 150 and then credit M Maroon Suppliers. We owe them more, and because they are a liability, liabilities increase on the credit side. This will also be recorded on the credit side of creditors control. Next transaction. El Lira. Remember, El Lira is the owner of this business. El Lira was not happy with the quality of the goods. And to be more specific, she was not happy with the quality of packing materials that she received. So she returned 350 of that packing material. So we need to reverse what we initially recorded. To reverse what we initially recorded, we are going to debit packing material and then credit drawings. Underline to show that the transaction is complete. Then add all the columns under debtors control and creditors control. Let me count. This question will be out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. And then the totals will be 34, 35, 36, 37. And that'll be your general journal. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to subscribe. And I hope you did not skip the ads. Thanks again for watching. So